Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Sporticast Football. My name is Riaz Parker, and this is episode 74 of the 343 podcast. Today, we'll be looking at all things Euro related. This is the third drop of the week, I guess, which is new for us. So, we'll be looking at, we'll be reviewing the semi-finals of the Euros and previewing the final, as well as giving some of our predictions, which will probably be outlandish or completely wrong, but we give them anyway. And today, of course, I'm joined by AF and Jason. AF, how are you going today?
I'm nervous. I think that's
Fair
the best way that I can put it. I'm cold as well. It's been a crazy week in terms of weather here in Cape Town. But yeah, like after this week's results in the Euros, I'm super nervous for Sunday and what's to come.
Yeah, I think you're the only one of the three of us that have kind of a stake in the situation, I guess. So, Jason, for a neutral standpoint, how's it been going to you?
Yeah, not too bad, man. Just really echoing AF statements. Really cold, really chilly. But yeah, the show must go on. So we push on to Sunday. Really excited for that game.
That's surprising to hear from you because I feel like you've been up and down about the Euros so far this tournament. Whereas me and AF have kind of erred on the side of kind of excited and really enjoyed it. But it's been, I guess the semi-finals were better than we thought it was going to be. Both of them in terms of, I guess, the football that was played. I'll start with your team, AF. Let's start with the Spanish. And just a quick review of the semi-final. How do you think it went for you guys? First of all, also want to say Morata actually started, which surprised me. I thought he was...
Yeah, I don't even know what happened there. Like I checked out in social media, nobody had an answer as to why he started. Maybe people that reported he was going to miss the semi-final initially, they were incorrect. Or maybe they appealed it like somewhere in the back that and they were successful and just like none of the media reported it. But yeah, it was weird, and not that it changed much. He was still trash. He still stunk up. Dude,
bad.
No.
He's just there to deflect all of the attention so that wide players can do what they need to do. That's all he does.
Yeah.
Like a worse version of Vote Vegas, essentially.
I'll take it. You know.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
But,
yeah, how did it go? How did you enjoy the game?
After that first goal went in, I thought, did I speak this into existence? Did I speak that France-England final into existence? But luckily, I think that first goal is what that game needed.
Yeah.
Spark everything, and the moment they scored that first goal, I think that just woke Spain up a little bit, and they started finding their stride. And not that France didn't have their chances. I think France, they played some of their best football of the tournament in that game. Not that that's like an achievement or anything like that. But I think that they didn't play too badly, and we've spoken about this already over the past couple of weeks, but there's still so much of an over-reliance on Kylian Mbappe, and they look for him far too many times where there are other better opportunities available for them. But yeah, in our preview of that game as well, we spoke about the brilliance of N'Golo Kante, and once again, I mean, the guys playing in Saudi, Aymeric Laporte as well, playing in Saudi, but you wouldn't even say that their level is still so high. And he was just marshalling that midfield, and Rodri didn't have a chance for the most part against him. And yeah, like I'm just so pleased that he still maintained such a high level of football. But yeah, I'm happy that we came away with the win. Mbappe had that glorious chance right at the end where, I mean, that's normally his bread and butter, cutting in, and he didn't have any pressure on him as well. I think there was one defender, I think it was Vivian, that could have come close him down. But I mean, he skied it, and you should have been playing for the rugby team instead after that.
Yeah, I wanna pick up on something that you said, and that's the kind of games or the tournaments that both Kante and Laporte have had, and playing for like Saudi Arabia, people have this kind of, or playing in Saudi Arabia, people have this kind of predisposition that those players are past their prime, things like that. The two of them specifically, and I was going to bring up Laporte because I was watching him closely, like in that game, and he played really, really well, and he's been having a really good tournament. So just shows that, I mean, even if you play, no matter where you play in the world, if you're a top level player, you're a top level player.
Yeah.
So that's been really good to see. Jason, from that semi-final, a takeaway from your side?
Yeah, just that Spain and their wingers are the truth. I think that performance from a 16-year-old Lamine Yamal was
Amazing.
something out of it seemed something out of an AI script. It was so picture perfect, and for his moment to come about in a time where obviously France scored first and they scored early, that goal just gave them the impetus. I think also we have to highlight Danny Olmo. He's done so well since he's been included in the starting 11. I think he's been a bit plagued by injuries in his club form, but yeah, what a player, man! What an absolute player! Another La Masia talent that's obviously left and he's gone and established himself elsewhere. But yeah, what a game! And I think it sets up nicely for the final, where you had mentioned I was a bit up and down. I think I'm excited for the final because it means that my players can then rest and prepare for the new season. But more so, I think both teams, one side of the final has played their way into the final, other side is lucked. And I think that sort of neutralizes it. And in the final, we should have a very good game. So yeah, I thought it was a very good game on Tuesday night. And I think Spain might go into it feeling a bit more confident just in the way that they play, and they have more belief in the system that they're playing. So
yeah, 100%. I think also just to quickly go on to that first goal that France scored. I mean, as soon as that goal went in, the rest of the whole game, what I saw was kind of whenever Mbappe or Dembele got the ball, there were two people on them, both the left back and the right back, as well as the wingers. How fast Nico Williams got back whenever Ousmane Dembele had the ball was unbelievable, because Nico Williams is usually the furthest person forward on that field. But as soon as Dembele got the ball, he was back and helping out his defender every single time. So I think that was really, really good defensive work by those young wingers as well. And that needs to be stated as well. And
Can
I
we?
think.
Okay, now go ahead.
And I was going to move on to France. So if you have a point on that, then we can go for it.
Yeah, no. Like, can we just give a shout out to Jesus Navas, 39 years old? I mean, he had to leave the pitch early because I mean those old legs probably started to give in. But I mean, to go up against Kylian Mbappe and to have Kylian Mbappe essentially in his pocket for the majority, I think it was 62 minutes that he played. And to make sure that
early as well.
Yeah. So I mean, like to just keep him at bay for about an hour of the game at 39 years old is crazy. And yeah, just hats off to him. He's been a great servant for the country. He's the last remaining member of that generation, that golden generation of I think they won the Euro, the World Cup, and the Euro, all three trophies back to back. 2008 to 2010 and 2012. So he's the last link to that squad. And yeah, to just go out and hopefully if they can finally lift this trophy, that will be a great way for him to end his international career as well.
Yeah, fully agreed. And I mean, it showed exactly how well he did when he went off and Nacho moved to that right-hand side. And immediately in the first 10 mintes, he got skinned alive like 3 times, which was ridiculous to see.
But I mean, I'm not even surprised that happened.
Yeah,
so
that's fair. I mean, him and Vivian, they were very rocky when they played together there on the right-hand side. I was very scared for that. But that's France. I just want to say one more thing about France. And at 2-1 down, there's no one pressing in the opponent's half. I didn't understand that. Like France were 1 goal down, and they let Spain have the ball in their own half. There was no one there. As soon as they come into their half, there's a little bit of pressing happening, but they're camping deep. I did not understand that. It makes no sense, and it kind of it's kind of similar to the way England kind of went in the first couple of knockout games that they played. So let's move on to that quickly. The second semi-final last night, which a lot of people thought were going to go to penalties. It didn't. Jason, I want to come to you first. Your takeaways from that semi-final. How did you think it went? Did you enjoy the game at least?
Yeah, I think the first half was really good. The second half, I think it sort of tempered down from what we saw in that first half. Yeah, Netherlands started well, and I think England's biggest thing now is that they have to concede first, and then they actually wake up, because then they let go of the sort of structure that they start with, and then actually go for it, and they play some of their best football once they actually do that. Once you start expressing yourself in that final third, and not this sideways passes. Yeah, it pains me to admit, I think it was very good subs from Gareth Southgate. Whether he'll have the cojones to start those guys, it will obviously,
No chance.
time will tell. Yeah, but the value of having a striker that stays between the 18-yard area and actually stays inside the width of the 6-yard area was very evident last night. Yeah, there was a few chances in the first half where I actually picked up, like Harry Kane. Like I've noticed, and I see online, people say Harry Kane's so deep and stuff like that. And I decided last night to actually focus more on his movement and what he was doing. And the whole reason for that number 9 to come down is that your wingers are then going, but there's only Saka who was the real winger, because Jude Bellingham and Phil Foden were not occupying that left wing spot really, right? So you have nobody in that box, and then you have a guy like Foden breaking into that space, and he's not going to compete. He's not going to jump against Virgil van Dijk and Stefan de Vrij. And then as soon as Watkins comes on, he makes the run into the space. They play him a ball. Palmer, great weight, great pass, and he finishes, and they go through. So yeah, that was glaring, but also it speaks to the depth that England have, because you're bringing off a guy that had his best season in the English Premiership, for somebody who had a very remarkable season when he was in Germany as well. So it's not a bad drop-off, and I think that makes them a bit scary for the final.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that, like you said, there was times yesterday where Saka goes to that byline and he puts that ball in, and I'm looking, and the ball goes flashes right across the whole goal to the other side and out towards out of the box again, and a Dutch player picks it up, and I'm like, where's the centre forward here? Like, what's happening? Like, there needs to be someone to at least try and tap it in. But yeah, AF does it. Are they hitting the stride at the right time? Are you a bit scared that they're going to kind of do well in this final? A word on the Dutch as well, quickly.
Yeah, so I have a couple of things that I want to speak about, and that's firstly, I think the Dutch had to change a lot after Memphis Depay got injured. That they had to change formation, they had to change their style of play, and I don't think that was in their plan, obviously. And I think if Depay stayed on for longer, they might have gotten the second goal, because they were in their stride, they were playing good football, and I don't think England were really dealing with a lot they were doing. I mean, that Xavi Simons goal was amazing, phenomenal strike, top corner. I think that was going at a gazillion miles an hour. No keeper was saving that, and that's the one thing. And I think they brought on a midfielder, a deep lying midfielder, for him. So it essentially forced him to go defensive. And then at halftime, I think that's when Wout Weghorst came on, and then they had to change the structure again. So I think there was a lot of tinkering from Ronald Koeman, and it wasn't really panning out the way that he wanted. And again, switching over to England now, not once, not twice, but thrice, Phil Foden goes off and England plays so much better.
Notice.
And I mean, it's not to say that Phil Foden is bad, but could it be? Like Phil Foden he's a good footballer, he's a talented footballer, but could he be a system player?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, could he be a system player? Like, he hasn't really lit up this Euros. I I can't think
He was a
of.
lot better last night, like a lot better.
I mean, he hit the crossbar once, so I mean that was his one moment. But other than that, like, I don't think he's really lit up this tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But once again, like I said, like he's still a great footballer. He still has bags and bags of talent, and he's young, so obviously he can still develop to
Yeah.
be better in these bigger tournaments. But yeah, I mean, Cole Palmer came on, and right off the bat, the guy was doing things. He was doing the things that we've seen the entire season last season. And I saw that Ollie Watkins said after the match that him and Cole had a conversation early on in the day, and Cole
Yeah.
said that we're coming on, and or Ollie said that we're coming. We both of us are coming on, and you're going to be assisting me, and I'm going to be scoring, and that's exactly what happened. So I
Yeah.
mean that's
Amazing.
great to
Yeah.
see within the camp as well. But yeah, like I'm nervous because I think England really has a chance. They've lucked their way into the final, but I think last night's game was that was like their best performance by a million miles
Yeah.
this entire
100%.
Euros. Yeah,
100%. And I just want to on that Dutch thing. I think the change from Memphis was a massive moment
yeah,
in the game
Mm.
because it stopped all their momentum. They were doing really well, and it just
yeah.
halted their momentum because, like you said, they brought on a deep line midfielder. They played three across the midfield, and Marlon had to go play up front, and he's not, in my
He
opinion,
got
not that great.
yeah he got taken off at halftime. I mean,
Yeah.
because he was doing his part as a winger, but I mean,
Yes.
when he needs to be a the target man or the main man up front, like you need to be so much better than what he was offering in that like 10 minutes
Yeah.
that he was the number 9.
100%. And I think that the issue actually was that because of that, Xavi Simons had to play on the wing, and he couldn't be as a 10. And that I think they lost a lot of connection there between the two because
Yeah,
him as a 10 is really good. We saw how he picked up and pinched the ball and scored that goal. So
Yeah.
that kind of messed up the whole situation. But England did really well. A quick before we get into the preview for this final,
was it a
quick
penalty
one.
though?
That's exactly what I'm about to ask. A quick yes or no question. Jason, I'll start with you. Penalty, yes or no?
Yeah, it might be controversial, but I'm gonna go yes, bro.
Okay. AF,
Yeah.
penalty, yes or no?
I'm gonna be agreeing with Jamie Carragher and Gary Neville and say no, that was
Okay.
not a
I'm not
penalty.
sure exactly what they said, but I will agree with all you guys as well. I know me and Jason had to talk about this last night slightly,
Yeah,
um,
yeah. It was
but
we
we
were
had to
tense
agree
in that
to
group chat.
disagree. Yeah, we had to actually end up agreeing to disagree because I said no penalty, no chance. But yeah, that the referee, honestly, last thing on that is I felt personally that the referee was shocking in the game. The whole game, I think he was shocking.
Yeah.
He
Just
made, yeah,
yeah. No, just on that last game, sorry man. It's tough because that sort of tackle, if it's made anywhere else, even if he blocks and he makes some sort of contact, that is a foul. So when it's in the box, the feeling is that or not the feeling, the understanding is you have to be near perfect to make a lunge tackle like that, right? Even if it wasn't a tackle. So the reason why, and I'm not feeling like I must justify why I'm saying that, right? I mean, I've been on the receiving end of one of those. I've also unfortunately given away penalties because of that. Um, it's just the way that football has moved. If there's studs up, if there's any sort of contact there, that has to be given. So the logical explanation that you were like giving, it's not an attempt to make a tackle, it's an attempt to make a block. That works for me. But with the way that everything's been going and the interpretation of the rules and the laws, it's never going to be. So I was going to be surprised if it wasn't given. Because I think we've seen worse, we've seen less, but also we've seen
yeah,
stuff of similar nature being
Yeah,
given before.
but
So yeah,
the commentators also said they were like, we'll be very surprised if this is given. And then the other commentator, I think it was Peter Drury, he was the one commentator, and then the guy that was with him
the
was just like,
Englishman, the other
no,
Englishman.
there's no chance that that's going to be given. Like
Yeah,
yeah,
I can't see this happening.
yeah,
And then when I went onto Twitter and Jamie Carragher is laughing with like laughing emojis, laughing, crying emojis, saying no chance that's a pen, because he was just like, you found the funny side that the referee actually gave that as a penalty. And then after the game, Gary Neville also said he was literally trying to go for a block. Kane got the shot away. As a defender, you like, if you don't make that block, then you get like hounded and slaughtered in the media. Like, why didn't he go in to make a block? So like this, like, I mean, those are coming from two English defenders on top of it. So it's not even that they're going to be biased and just agree with it. They're speaking from experience.
It's just I do agree with you, Jason, that it's the interpretation, and at the end of the day, it's how it goes. That's unfortunately, I think. But personally, for me, like I said, I get where you're coming from. For me, the striker initiated the contact, so that's kind of the way, one way. But I like to see the referee this decision on the field take like more important weight in the situation. So the referee on field didn't give it. If the referee on field gave it, I wouldn't want to see it overturned either. So like it's kind of that kind of situation where I guess whatever the referee kind of makes the decision, I would like to go with that. But anyways, moving on quickly to the preview of the final. If your team is in the final against this England side who are hitting the straps, key battles for you quickly. I don't want a prediction just yet. We'll get that in a bit. But key battles for you in Sunday's final.
So, I mean, that midfield is going to be extremely important. And I think if England starts like strongly, if they make sure to like overrun that midfield very early on, like we know Pedri's not starting, it's going to be Dani Olmo, Rodri, and Fabian Ruiz. So the three of them, I mean, Rodri and Fabian Ruiz have been sublime this entire tournament. They haven't had a bad game, but players normally have one average game in the tournament, and I don't know, man. Like I don't want to be optimistic or anything like that, saying that like, oh no, they're just gonna be good from the offset. Like England, they, like Jason said earlier, like they might have like hit their stride at the right time, and they're gonna go in with a massive amount of confidence going into this final. There's going to be that momentum, last minute winner in a semi-final. They're going to be on cloud nine. And I don't think Spain is going to expect what England's going to be bringing to the table. But
I don't even think they know.
I still hope.
Yeah, Jason, as a
but
neutral,
I think that midfield battle is going to be insanely important.
Yeah. And Manu's been great as well. I must say, Manu's been the best midfielder in England.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's going to be good to see. Jason, from your side as a neutral, what are you looking forward to seeing in the final?
Just firstly to echo that, I actually wanted to bring that up when I was giving my sort of review. Manu was probably the best player yesterday, and he allows both Jude and Foden to do what they need to do. I want to say that the midfield battle will be big, but I'm actually going to go for wingers versus fullbacks. So you've got these two young wingers, and if Kieran Trippier plays, I think Yamal has a field day. I just think Trippier's not really what England's needing right now, and that's because Luke Shaw hasn't been playing. But I mean, they played better once he had come in that second half, and they looked a bit more on the balance side. 100%. And then, Kyle Walker against Nico Williams is going to be good. And then on the other side, we have Saka against Cucurella, who I think Cucurella has done very well for his season that he had at Chelsea, which was very subpar. And that's the whole Chelsea team and him personally. And Saka for his season. And I think Saka's been very consistent. Maybe he's not getting the output that he really would have liked in this tournament. I think that's going to be the key battles. Whether England decide to change the way they play, or they actually have a recognized wing on the outside there. I think all of the players should be back now that was yellow carded, right? So Spain should be back to full complement. So it's probably more the Spain wingers going against the England fullbacks, and then Saka against Cucurella. So that's where I'm
Foden against Carvalho.
Possibly. I mean, look, I think last night we saw a bit of Jude Bellingham on that left hand side, just floating in and out there, which is good. but he's not a natural winger. He's not Lamine Yamal. He's not a Nico Williams. So you lose that element and that left-hand side, which is almost like, okay, they're not going to run at us from that side.
Yeah.
It's going to be Kieran Trippier cutting back, or he's going to lay the ball back and somebody's going to cross. So you can almost focus all your effort and energy on the other side.
Yeah. Do you think it's a question of how well they know Jude Bellingham? I mean, seeing that he plays at Madrid, Carval knows him, Nacho knows him, so
yeah,
it can go both ways. Jude can also know their weaknesses. You can know they can know his weaknesses. So I think it can go both ways.
I think the easiest way to answer this question is that, and I think that it's easy because of kind of the way England play. So because of this system, Jude Bellingham, while they know his weaknesses and strengths, the way that he plays in this system is completely different to the way that he plays at Real Madrid. So I think that's what's kind of an example of how kind of while they do know him, they kind of don't know exactly how they're playing, because I mean England now play with 5 at the back. Yeah, because England system is now 5 at the back with Saka and Trippier as wing backs, and then a flat 3, and then 2 and 2 and 1, or basically 3 and then 2 with no striker, Kane in between Rice and Mainu. But so it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be a great game to watch. I think it's going to be all down to substitutions, because that's going to make whether Southgate has, like we always say, the cojones to make those substitutions at the right time is going to make all the difference. I think Luke Shaw will come on at halftime, and then from there you'll decide what the game needs after that. But I think they'll go into the game the same as they did for the past couple of games. Mainu, Rice, Bellingham and Foden, and I think that's the biggest change. That's the reason why he's gone back to this, the 5 at the back with the 2 wingers, is because it allows Foden and Bellingham to play more narrower in the positions that they prefer. And we've seen that now in the past couple of games. Foden getting more involved, Bellingham on the left and Foden on the right, which is kind of what they need. So it's going to be very, very interesting indeed to see and to watch the final. Prediction time. AF, I'll start with you. Predictions for Sunday's final, England against Spain, European final 2024. What you got?
1-1 penalties, England.
No. That's a shocker. That's an absolute shocker from you.
That is probably what is going to happen. As much as I don't want it to happen, that is probably what I have to just like mentally get ready for.
What's up with the negativity, man? But okay, give me the 2 goal scorers.
I'm going to go for Morata with Spain's goal.
Lovely.
And I'm going to go for a Bellingham goal.
Okay. Great stuff. Trayson, your predictions for the game on Sunday?
I'm feeling, I don't think it's going to be penalties, and I'm saying that because I must go to work early Monday morning and I don't want penalties. I think it's going to be a 2-1. I'm going to go 2-1 Spain, actually. I hate that Saka needs to be on the team that loses, but I think Spain just have enough in the current system that they're playing to overpower England. And I think that's the
2-1.
Yeah.
Give me one of Spain's goal scorers.
One of Spain's goal scorers. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's Rodri. Rodri has that clutch moment in him, isn't it?
So, I like that call.
Yeah, it's gonna be something from a corner or
Okay, great. Hey, if you wanted to say something.
Yeah, no. That way, at least David Raya comes back with the middle, right?
Look here. Either way, one of my Arsenal boys come back as a Euro winner. If it's not Dick, Ramsdale or Saka, then it's David Raya.
Yeah, or Miko Merino. You never know. I mean,
there you go.
On the phone, 24 hours. You can let the phone do.
Yeah, emergency call.
Well, yeah. Well, we have our first preseason game at the end of July. Must just come back before then.
Yeah.
I was trying to think now if any of my players are going to come back with a medal. I realize I have no one representing, but that's okay. I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with I'm going to go with football wins. I'm going to go with 4-2 Spain. 4-2 Spain. Like I said, 3-0 Spain against France. I'm still going to go with football wins, 4-2 Spain, because I can't see. I want a great game, so I'm going to give England goals. I'm going to say 4-2 Spain. I do, however, have a feeling that if it goes to penalties, AF, you are 100% right. England will not miss a single penalty if it goes to penalties. They don't know how to miss penalties. Those guys are elite penalty takers.
Famous last
Yeah,
words.
it's insane.
Famous
It is insane.
last words.
Nah, they won't miss a single penalty. I'm telling you, AF's right there, 100%. But I'm hoping football wins at the end of the day. I want 120 minutes of good football. Give me 120 minutes with a 4-2 Spain victory. I'll take it all the way to my house.
So you're
Anyways,
saying it's going to go 2-2 into extra time?
yeah, and then 2 goals from
and
Spain.
This is up for some entertaining stuff, eh?
I want entertainment. Just give it to me.
Oh,
I really
he's
want.
going to be severely disappointed when it's a 1-0 in the
Oh, a
first 5
no all the way through. Yo, it's gonna hurt me. But yeah, that's it for our episode today. It's been an absolute smasher. AF, where can people find you on socials?
Yeah, at AF Parker 642 everywhere. I'm just probably going to be tweeting about how sad I am that we might not lift the trophy.
It's
So,
reverse psychology,
and I'm probably
man.
going to be like crying after Sunday, but hopefully I'll be smiling. Hopefully.
There we go. There
Keep me
we
in your
go.
prayers. Thank you.
And Jason, I realized also that I actually have to be as hyped about your kind of social media situation. So where can people find you as well?
At Jason_Ronnie. Keep it simple. Yeah, and then obviously at Sportycast for TikToks and all those other good vibes.
Great stuff. And comment on who you think you're going to win. Comment under this video. Give us your predictions. Who you think is going to win this Euro final. And yeah, thanks for watching. You can get me on Instagram, I guess, at Riaz7, on Twitter at Parker_Riaz, and follow the channel as well at Sportycast on all your social media platforms. Give us a like, share the video, subscribe to the channel if you wish. And yeah, look forward to the next video coming out next week. But for 343, I've been Riaz Parker. See you next time.
Peace.
Cheers.